Hello there, welcome to the channel, welcome back perhaps. Seems like a little while since we've done one of our ambient Bob Ross type things. This is an idea that occurred to us while waking up this morning, as many of our better ideas do. And this is a fun little experiment where we're going to be bouncing freeze functions off each other. So the strymon nightsky has an infinite or freeze function, like a hold thing, and also the R1 has a hold thing when the sustain button is pressed. So let's just have a quick listen. We're also using our brassmaster fuzz here with a slightly more dull setting, and we'll use kind of like a full range sample of the contrabass, but to be honest it's not super relevant. I will however give you a taste of the full sample. This goes from our sub bass range through the bass and into the low mids. So okay, now the way that we've got things up currently with the strymon is our basic kind of like guitar amp-esque sustain kind of thing. Let's have a listen to that, and we'll just give you a shot of some of the sample, various different registers. Love that sound. There we go. And likewise for the R1, let's have a listen. What we've got here is a glitch effect that we created a while back. Oh, there's the 5 o'clock bell. Didn't realize it was that late. But you will hear how this is both a glitch that kind of hovers, according to the instructions of the R1, over a kind of a diffuse kind of reverb, the way that we've got it set up. So here we go. There we go. Now let's have a quick listen how that sounds with some sustain. There we go, and the important thing you can hear there is that the reverb effect continues to affect other signal passing through even though it's frozen. And that's important in this case for the freeze kind of bouncing that we're going to be doing. Also true of the night sky. Let's just give a quick example of the freeze there. Gotta love these pedals. Okay, now that brings us to our main event here. The idea is that the night sky being further back in our chain is kind of like our inside, or like anchor, and we can freeze something here, add things to it that are then frozen by the R1, then let things go here. That allows the R1 texture to settle without any influence from the night sky. Then adding more night sky, and once again engaging our anchor or inside, and releasing the outside, so that we're left with just the sound of the sustained night sky. Hopefully that makes sense. Here is a brief demonstration. We can continue to add to this infinite freeze. Oops. Now we have the R1 on as well, excuse that. That's why we're using the glitch, because we get some interesting extra texture in there on top of what we get from the night sky that is more than just the reverb. Hopefully you can see that. So now we're left with only the R1, our outside, but we can continue to play with that. And obviously it'll be going through the night sky before it hits the R1. there we go. So there is a basic demonstration of what we're trying to do here, where we're, I mean, bouncing is the way we're thinking about it. Maybe we'll develop that concept. But the idea of freezing something, adding to it and freezing here, letting go of this, refreezing here and letting go of this. So inside or outside anchor, and I don't know what that would be, but yeah, that's the concept. Now, one thing it's worth noting here, a nice little discovery, is that I was feeling that the R1 was fading out too quickly, especially if I'm looking for more like ambient type shifting between these two different frozen things. So I realized that the mix needed to be brought up to 50-50. But more importantly, the decay, given a bit more length, means that when we disengage the freeze of the R1, the fade out is a little bit more smooth, a little bit less sudden, making for more of a pleasant ambient shift between the two different things. So let's hear that one more time. And this, if you have heard our previous video, our ambient track, where we videoed this is essentially the setting that we were using for that. So, all good here. Lovely. So, that gives an idea of what we're kind of doing generally here. And I think that that is a great basic concept. Worth bearing in mind that it's essentially like stacked reverbs, and using the freeze functions within those reverbs. So like, I think it's important to find a good combination of reverbs and specifically also reverb settings that allow the frozen sounds to fade out in a way that lets them transition, like increasing the length and the mix on that glitch setting on the R1, hopefully you heard, makes for it a much more satisfying fade out back into what's been frozen in the night sky, as this returns to being like a normal secondary reverb. And then, you know, when this is disengaged after the R1 has been engaged, how this fading out nicely is a very pleasant blend into what's going on with the R1. So, the next step is some different settings on both of them.